Are you with us? Yes. I'm Andrey Tkachev. Hello. At NSD, I'm responsible for issuer contacts, for serving issuers, and for domestic placement of securities.
Презентация наша, ну, так как, собственно, основная цель моего сегодняшнего рассказа –
Today, my goal is to cover the topic of foreign issuer being served by the Moscow Exchange and the NSD for the purpose of securities placement. We already have some successful cases of that. Our colleagues from Kazakhstan and Belarus have done some security placements with us. So I will try to give you some understanding, just to make sure that you see that it's not really so difficult. It is quite possible, and issuers successfully enter our market, can find the Russian investors and use the services of the central depository
в целом.
as
Соответственно,
well as the Moscow Exchange as such. The benefits of using our services by the issuer proceed from the fact that the NSD has an extended correspondent network, both for cash settlements and for registration services. We have bilateral relations with almost every single central depository, and we also have bilateral relations with European depositories, and systems, Euroclear and Clearstream, which opens up the possibility to connect with the foreign investor. So Euroclear and Clearstream have accounts with us as clients and can place securities which have been placed in Russia to their accounts and make settlements with non-residents. The network of issuers can also use, if needed, they can use NSD accounts for their purposes, for cash payments. They can use either ruble accounts or multi-currency accounts. Again, colleagues from Kazakhstan and Belarus have already placed their securities. That was from the ministries of finance as well as corporate issuers. And I will tell you about the process a little bit more. For the foreign issuer to enter the Russian market, certain conditions must be met. Number one, the issuer must be eligible under the federal law number 39, that is Article 51.1, which describes how issuers can access Russian markets. The law specifies the categories of issuers which are eligible and specify what needs to be done. Also, the requirements with respect to securities, if the issuer wants not only to place the securities in Russia, but also have them traded on exchange, that is to list the security on the Moscow Exchange. One of the key criterion for that is to have the prospectus registered. This is what the law requires. So the issuer must prepare a prospectus and have it registered with the Bank of Russia. In parallel, if needed, they also can go into agreement with the Moscow Exchange. And we, as central depository, accept the security for service, and we support the placement. as of the date of placement, the security must be assigned the ISIN and the CFI codes. This is done by the issuer as well. We have the codes assigned, and those codes are then communicated to the Bank of Russia. And then directly in communication with NSD, the issuer enters into depository services agreements and issue the account, also enter into electronic communication agreement. We open an account for them for the new security, from which the security will be distributed to investors. In general, we already have some options to choose from as they place the securities. These all were already tested by our colleagues, issuers. So we can either limit the issue to the Moscow exchange platform or implement a multi-point placement, including both the Moscow exchange and the local exchange of the issuer country. To make sure it happens, the issuer goes into contract with the Moscow exchange concerning the listing of the new security. Also, the security is given access as well to the issuer's own country's security. When the placement takes place, there are two iterations for the issuer to complete. First, to have the security enter the Moscow exchange. This is how it looks. The issuer's account is given access to the Moscow exchange, and with the participation of Russian agents who can access organized trade platform, sales offers can be placed through those agents. The issuer can participate in Moscow exchange trading and place a certain amount, a certain number of securities on the exchange. The local exchange securities depository, which will also be involved, will open the account with NSD as well. In many cases, such secure settlement depositories are the central depositories of the respective country, or sometimes it can be a separate company which will open a nominee account with NSD. On the placement date, they receive a depository transfer from the issuer for the certain number of securities. We transfer those to the local exchanges settlements depository, which exercises this settlement. This option was tested between us and Kazakhstan. It was all quite successful. No stop factors or no stumbling blocks were found. As soon as the securities are distributed throughout the trading sections and end up in the holders' accounts, the clearing takes place. After clearing, the issuer always receives a report from our exchange as well as our system on any transfers that were made. All the information support that the issuer needs to successfully complete the placement is always available to the issuer, so that the issuer can at any time see what is happening, the number of securities that were placed, etc. So normally within a single banking day, you can have your securities transferred from one exchange to another. For example, if the issuer sees that the demand for the security may be higher at some other exchange, within just one business day, the securities can be transferred from the Moscow exchange trading section to the nominee account of the local exchange. Further servicing of the security involves payment process. NSD since 2019 uses cascade payments when the issuer has a cash account opened with NSD, which exclusively is used for cash payments. A few days before the payment, the issuer makes a transfer with an explanation of the purpose of the payment and the which coupon or which security is involved. And one day before the payment date, we pull up the depositors who are to receive the funds, and we pay on the payment date. It is cascade because the payment is done based on the number of securities in accounts. This means that we do not provide analysis. We do not separate the funds at this stage, and they receive the nominee holder receive funds based on the number of securities, and each depository in the lower levels will do the same cascading process. So within one day, normally the cash funds will be delivered to the investor. Now, colleagues, I tried to avoid uh, going into the legal language because the law hasn't a lot of it, and that's more or less all on my part. If you have any questions, please, they are welcome. Thank you, Andrey. I'm sure your presentation will be useful to all the colleagues. Thank you for your participation and see you later. Thanks, colleagues, and I wish you a good end of the day, good Friday and weekend.